So, hey, what's up, car shipping rock stars? It's your girl Ashley from Relogeek.com, and on today's video, we're gonna go over how to choose a name for your auto transport business. For those of you guys that watched one of my previous videos where I talked about the importance of building a brand in 2019 into 2020 as an auto transport broker, I got a lot of questions about the name aspect. A lot of you guys, that and the target market. A lot of you guys don't know how to choose a name. And even when you think you're being creative, you're actually not. So I wanted to walk you guys through a process that I just did with a client where I helped them choose a name for their new business. Now, this process, you can do the same thing that I'm doing. I don't believe it to be that difficult. However, if you just can't do it and it's not for you, then you should check out my business naming services, which I will link in the description below. Or you can just go to relogeek.com/shop and you'll find your business naming services in there. With that being said, I'm going to now minimize my screen here. That way it's not in my way. And then I'm going to show you guys my Word doc that I have here, and we're going to begin the process. So now, when it comes to choosing a name for your business, we're trying to steer away from names like A to Z Auto Shipping. A to Z Auto Shipping. Let me make sure I make this big enough so you guys can actually see it. So not too big where it takes up too much space here. Okay, so let's do right here. And I hate that font, so let's just do this one here. Okay. Now, A to Z Auto Shipping. These are names that you don't want. There's companies like Coast to Coast. These aren't names that mean anything to anybody, right? Your name needs to be memorable. So you want a name that's memorable. You also want a name that's timeless. You want a name that is unique, right? Because Coast to Coast, it doesn't seem unique, right? A to Z, it doesn't seem unique. It seems cliche. You want a name that's going to, we talked about this in that video. I'll link that video below as well. Make your customers feel something. And if there's anything that you learn from this whole entire video, is that you want to make your customers feel something. Okay, so these names we established are a no-go. So we're going to hit delete on that. We're going to keep these up. That way we can take a look at them as we go through this. But this is the one that we want to focus on here. So my process starts with a questionnaire. So pretty much I have you guys fill out a questionnaire that allows me to get to know more about you and what you want for your business. But it goes deeper than that. Recently, I had a client tell me that it took him an hour or two to do it because it made him go deeper than he's ever gone before, thought about things he's never thought about before. So with that being said, I'm not going to put the questionnaire on here, but things that you need to think about is, why should a client choose you? Why should a client choose you? There's so many other people out there that they can choose. So many other brokers. You know that. I know that. So why should they choose you? Another question that you should think about is, why are you doing this business? Why are you doing this business? And I want you to think beyond just, oh, I'm doing this business because I want to make money. Well, why do you need to make money? Well, I need to support my family. Why do you need to support your family? Do you have a spouse that could support your family? Like, why? I want you to go really deep on the why. And last, if you didn't notice, all these questions are why, right? Why should clients choose you? Why are you doing this business? And the final one is, how are you different? Now, the funny thing is about this question about how are you different is that so many people, when they think about how they're different, they say, oh, I provide a fast service. Oh, I'm reliable. Oh, I care. These things are so cliche, right? You don't want those. You want to really think about what it is in your soul that makes you different. Okay. So when I did this with the client, he came up with a bunch of different, and I'm going to try to pull this up here. He came up with a bunch of different things that made him different. And what I do is when I do that, I take bits and pieces from your responses. So let me pull this up here. All right. So a few things that he mentioned that we're going to shrink this a little bit because now we're getting into like the details. Okay. The details. Okay. So I'm going to keep this size. So he said things like military was something that kept playing over and over again in his responses. Friendly. Relationships. Now I'm sharing this with you guys, but I don't want you guys to copy this and say, well, I'm the same way. You know, I really want you to think about it for yourself. Answer those questions above. Even though you don't have my questionnaire, that's saved for my clients, you still have these key things that are going to help you. He had a construction past, right? So these were bits and pieces. Ooh, I spelled construction wrong. Naughty, naughty. These are bits and pieces that were taken from his questionnaire. So once I see certain keywords or things that I think are quite important, I write them down on a separate thing. So that's what I want you to do. You're going to fill out your questionnaire, and then you're going to take the key parts, words that stand out to you. So that's what I took of it. So I knew immediately that when it comes to building an auto transport business, because I've been doing this for a while, most of you guys know that, and I've been helping people build brands for a while, and I've seen what a lot of people are saying, and military is a popular one, a lot of people, but this guy went beyond that. He likes companies, right, that support the military. So maybe not necessarily he want to cater to military personnel. He likes companies that have some type of support for them. But that's not what stood out to me. This one was cliche, but I still needed it because it describes his style, right? This here, we're going to highlight these two words here. I'm going to use the highlighter. Friendly relationships. And I'm going to even go as far as to highlight this last one here, construction. These were key things. Well, let's use a different color because construction was important, but it wasn't as important. So let's go with a darker color there. Uh-oh. Now you can't see it. Uh-oh. So let's fix that. I'm going to make that white. There you go. Now you can see it. These two here were something that I hadn't seen. And friendly in particular, because when I started my business as a broker, and most of you guys have heard this story, but when I was coming up with my business plan, my 15-page infamous business plan that sits in my drawer to this day, one of the words that I chose was friendly. I wanted to be fast, friendly, and flexible. And this is long before it became Relogeek. As you guys know, I started my company with a partner, and yeah, so we were something else. We were not Relogeek. Relogeek was my baby, my personality. So, where was I? Friendly and relationships. Something I don't see often. So immediately, I wanted to create a name that keyed in on those specific things. So here's the next stage. And I know we're 9 minutes in already. So guys, this is probably going to be long. Just stick with me. I'll try to, maybe when I edit it, I'll cut out bits and pieces, but just stick with me here. So what I did was I started coming up with terms, right? So I'm like, what words mean moves, right? Moving. Words for moving. You obviously have transport. You have moves. You have rides. You have shipments. You have ship, right? And I came up with these, right? So that's what I always start with. And I've branded businesses that weren't in the auto transport industry before, and I do the same process. So if you're watching this and you're not in the auto transport industry, this still works for you. And because I want words that explain precisely what the business is. So immediately when I saw this, I don't like the word transport. I like the word moves. So let's highlight that. And I like the word rides. those two words were words that really stuck with me. So then I went on and I started writing combination words. So I looked at his list and I tried to think of words that can go with friendly and relationships, because that is what we're gonna be building this business based on. Because I felt like, looking at what he had to offer, these two things is what's gonna make him different. And as I said previously, please guys, do not go and copy this and say, oh, well, I want to be friendly, I want to build relationships, because it's deeper than that. Like, there's a lot more to it than just friendly and relationships, but that was the basis. So let's go through this. So I looked at that and I'm like, well, bright. So then I said, let's put bright moves, because I like bright moves. Sounds good. He's sociable. So I put social rides. I'm like, oh, you know, then I thought about ally, and I actually used transport here because he's your ally and your transport, right? And I'm like, you know, that could work. I thought of leisurely, the word leisurely, right? I'm going to space this out a little bit. I don't want to run out of space here. I thought about the word leisurely. I'm like, that could work, right? So what else? And I'm just going through it. I'm like, brilliant. What about the word brilliant, right? And I tend to jump to my thesaurus, and I'll like go in there and see, you know, what words I can use. There was another word, gala, right? Because I'm like, he's into like relationships and social. So I was like, what about gala rides or gala moves, right? And I just kept going through this entire list, and you guys can like literally come up with so many different names. And don't be afraid. Like, you guys might be tempted to just stay safe, but don't be afraid to deviate from the norm. Like, who says social, you know? So I go through the list, and he mentioned he wanted to do exotic cars. So I thought about exotic rides, you know, and I'm like, So then I started to deviate from that, and I started to go into quotes and, you know, little phrases. So I came up with two tails transport. I like when words start with the same word or sound like the same, you know. So I said two tails transport, happy as a dog with two tails. That's like a slogan, right? So I thought, happy, two tails transport. And then I said, okay, so do I like any of these? Are any of these hitting that emotional feeling that we're trying to get with the customer? When I say these out loud, bright moves, do I feel friendly? Do I feel relationships? Am I getting that feeling? And the answer was, for me, no. So I started to go in and take it from a different angle. Let's talk the military angle. So I started coming up with revolutionary, now I can't spell, revolutionary rides, gladiator, if y'all are fans of Olivia Pope and gladiators in suits. I thought about parachute moves. I'm thinking of all tactical moves. I'm thinking of all of the things that I could possibly think of that are military based. And I'm just like, it's not working, right? So I started thinking, like, what am I doing wrong? What can give me that? He goes beyond transport, and then boom, just like that, beyond moves. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner, right? Beyond moves. And that one was like, oh my goodness, this name is perfect. It gave me this warm, tingly feeling. Just think about it. Beyond moves. It just feels tingly, right? So I'm like, okay, he's in Sacramento, you know, Sacramento. I did some research on the city and I wanted to bring it in. So I was like, okay, what about something to the effect of, let's go with fresh and modern, and, you know, and then I came up with another name, which I'm not going to share just because, it's a really good name, and I really don't want you guys to jump to use that name just in case he changes his mind. He did choose Beyond Moves, but so I came up with all of these names, right? And I came up with, after this, I was on a roll. So at this point, I was able to give him the 3 names that I usually give people. I give you 3 to 4 names, and then I gave him a list of ones that didn't make the cut just in case. But Beyond Moves was the one that he chose. So the reason why I wanted to share this with you guys, and then, let me go into here we're going to go into a little bit more. I want to tell you why I chose the name Beyond Moves. And it was that he has this desire to build connections. And I thought, just like his previous experience, in construction, you remember he's in construction. So just like his previous experience, I felt like similar to building a business or building a house, you have to start at the foundation. And in shipping a car, you understand that that particular foundation is the relationships you have with potential customers. So many brokers look past that. They just look at it as, I want to convert this lead because I want the sale. And what made me stand out from everybody else, what made me convert more leads than the average person, was this sense of empathy, the sense of caring, the sense of wanting to build relationships. And so many people forget that. Like, I try to be the most friendly, the most sweetest, the most helpful. I believe in really serving the people. And so when I thought about the name, I said, Beyond Moves, it just feels right. And he agreed. He was kind of torn between the other name that I was going to share with you, but he said, because the other name was a little bit more fun, he did say he wanted something a little fun. But I felt like this name was perfect, considering that one of the audiences that he wanted to really focus on was exotic car transport, and he wanted to focus on everyday people. And it's usually two different extremes. And I tell you guys, pick one target audience. And I'm building his brand right now. So now we're in phase 2 where I'm building his logo. I'm designing his logo and building his website. So hopefully with his permission, I'll share that with you guys in another video once it's complete. But it makes sense. And it's so much because he goes beyond moving your car. So Beyond Moves. He was a little nervous at first because he's like, it doesn't say transport in it. Like, people are going to think that I do some other things. What if, like, he didn't say this, but I'm like, yeah, they're not going to think that you're a break dancer. So don't worry, that's why you build a brand around it, right? This is just a small little piece of the puzzle. So now you have the name. The next thing you need to do to make sure it's available, right? So you want to make sure it's available. And I have my ways of checking, but you can just go to Google and type in beyondmoves.com and see if it's available. So now it's available. So I'm not going to do that. I forgot. Now it's not available because he already bought the domain. But, yeah, so pretty much you got to make sure it's available. You want to check to make sure the .com. And that's where people choke up at, because like all of these names up here, except for I believe this one was still available. All of these were not available. So some people will be like, oh, and even this one wasn't available. So people will get frustrated. You might get frustrated, but you got to realize that good names take time to create, and the best names are the most unique names. So he did Beyond Moves, and I can't tell you guys enough. No matter what name you choose, it should make people feel something. This is so important. You guys skip over it so much. Like, think about this. Beyond Moves. We take this business beyond just moving your car, right? We focus on relationships, being friendly. We treat you like we treat our grandparents, right? Because everybody treats their grandparents amazing. So these are things you need to think about when it comes to, and I promise I won't keep you guys too long. Hopefully we won't go past 25 minutes, but I just really want to nail this home, because I get messages, from people, and they have such generic names. Like, even some of these were kind of generic, but it's so important, guys. It's so important. Changing my name to Relogeek was like the best thing I could have ever done, because my name was so generic. And I think that even if you're like, he wants to cater to exotic car transport, and a name like this here, Beyond Moves, can work, especially if you have the branding to go with it. And I can't wait. I just finished the logo and I can't wait to share it with you guys. I am beyond excited, but I have to wait until it's all complete before I share it. And maybe I'll do a next video on the logo design aspect. But guys, it's so important. Please stop doing generic names. You guys are killing me. And again, like I said, I'm going to let you guys get out of here. If you're having trouble with choosing your name, I offer a very affordable naming service, and The price is going to go up because I haven't raised that price in a long time. It's been the same price for a long time now, for a couple of years. But yeah, guys, get over there. If you are having trouble, book your sessions now before the price goes up. I do a limited number per week, per month, pretty much per month, because even though it only takes me a few days to do it, I like to really put my attention, and I need that energy, my creative energy, to do it. But if you're on the fence, jump on over to relogeek.com/shop. As a matter of fact, let me bring it up here so you guys can see here. You go to relogeek.com/shop, and once you're in the shop, you're going to see I offer web design services. But here it is right here, your auto transport business naming services. As you can see, I only have 2 spaces available right now because I just finished one other client and now I'm working on this guy. But $197, guys, for a insanely amount of peace of mind. So, and again, that price is extremely low. I have friends in the business that charge $20,000 for a name. Okay. So, no, I would never charge you guys $20,000. My audience, I know what you guys can afford, but that price will go up, and it may go up to 500. It may just go up to 300. I haven't decided yet, but it takes a lot of creative energy to do it. So guys, if you're interested, hop on over to relogeek.com and get that service. All right. So that's it for this video on naming your business. And we're out of here with a few minutes to spare. We didn't go over 25 minutes. So that's great. I hope this video was helpful. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this. I'm actually from Relogeek.com. Now get out there and make moves happen. I will talk to you guys in the next video.